In this episode, we're going to talk about how do you go and achieve mastery at what you do. Meaning, how do you become great at whatever the skill it is that you want to develop. Whether that's going and becoming a great speaker, becoming a great singer, whether that's becoming great at the piano, great at skiing, whatever your area of expertise is, how do you go and become great at it? And mastery, very simply defined, is becoming one of the top 10% of people in your industry, in your profession. And the people, statistically we notice, the people that go and reach that level of mastery at what they do, top 10% earn 80-90% of the upside, both financially and when it comes to their level of influence, their level of reach amongst people, their legacy. Hence, how do you go and achieve that? We're going to talk about the 3 keys to mastery. Welcome to episode 23 of the Accelerated Achievement Show. This is a topic I talk about a lot about in my books, especially in my first book, about this area of how do you go and become extraordinary at what you do. And in this video, we're going to cover specifically what are the 3 keys, the 3 foundational keys in the recipe of becoming a master, becoming extraordinary at what you do. What are those ingredients that you must have? And these keys here, what I call the 3 irrefutable keys to mastery, are things that if you go and study the world's highest achieving people, every single one of them, without exception, goes and possesses these 3 ingredients, these 3 keys to become great at what they do. And in your life, you can go and implement them to be able to go and progress faster, to learn faster, to train your skills, and go and become better at whatever it is that you do. So what are these keys? Number 1 is passion. Is a passion. And when I say passion, it's either a passion, an intrinsic love of the topic or the skill, or it's some type of motive or purpose extrinsic outside of you. For example, you can get good at something without passion. You can get good at something. People in school do it all the time. They get good at stuff that they hate. Yet, when we're talking about mastery, when we're talking about becoming great, becoming one of the best in the world at what you do, at your craft, you don't get to that level without a level of passion or purpose for what you're doing, some motive that's driving you. I call passion, in one of my books, the fuel of pursuit. It's like going up and you have your car and you're driving up to the gas station, you're fueling it to be able to go further. That's kind of what passion is. Passion is that drive, that insatiable desire. And we see this if we go and study the world's highest achievers across pretty much all industries. Whether it's, for example, Mozart going and playing the piano from up to age 6, having already put in thousands of hours. Whether it's Tiger Woods going and drawing golf trajectories as a child. Drawing, like most kids, they draw paintings. He's drawing golf trajectories as a child. Whether it's Bobby Fischer, who at age 6 is going and playing chess by himself because he doesn't have anyone else to play with, but he loves it so much. This repeats over and over when we go and examine the world's greatest people, the people that are masters in their fields, the best at what they do. Hence, for you, how do you go and find something that you're deeply passionate about, that you can go and pursue, and then it's go and sustain that passion? So number 1, finding it. How do you find it? Now, this is the problem. This is something that we don't have one way to do it. There is no one track to finding your purpose or your passion. But we've seen throughout history of some people, they go and receive an object in their childhood and suddenly that goes and drives them, intrigues their fascination. They go and pursue that and make that their life purpose for the rest of their life. We've seen multiple cases of that throughout history. We've seen people who are surrounded by a certain group as they're growing up or in their adulthood that go and influence them to go into a new field. But when it comes to the most predictable and controllable way for you and I to go and find the things that we are passionate about in our lives, the way to do that is to test, is to go and experiment, go and taste a lot of things. Most people, the reason they haven't found what they're passionate about is simply they haven't gone and tested enough things. Statistically and mathematically speaking, the more things we test, the more different sports and musical instruments we play and topics we learn in school or outside of it through alternative education, the more we go into different areas of art, the more we could go into analytics and we go and figure ourselves out, the more we test and experiment different things, the more likely statistically we are to go and find our passion, find what we want to do, what drives us, what wakes us up in the morning, what when we do doesn't feel like work but feels like something that we love. Meanwhile, most people get pushed into their jobs, pushed into their career by parents or by the education system or by family or by friends into something that they don't like doing, but they're looking for that short-term financial gain, which at first is exciting. The idea of getting a promotion at your job or going and getting a pay raise or going and earning money. But those extrinsic, meaning external rewards, go and their excitement fades away and eventually people go and start hating what they do. Compared to, if you go and study the world's highest performing people, they'll go and they'll start with passion. They'll start with an intrinsic, internal love of what they do. Then later on, they'll pile on the financial rewards and the influence and the pressure and the bigger challenges and the missions and the bigger objectives that they want to achieve. And that will just go and ramp up what they do. And another example, a lot of people will go and turn to some people that are on TV or on the internet and showing up. They'll go and turn to those people and go like, how the heck do you voluntarily work 80, 90, 100 hours a week? How do you do that? And it's not because it's work for them, it's because they love what they do. Either way, first thing is passion. Most controllable way to find that is to test a lot of things, experiment, become a yes person at first. Say yes to everything so you get a wide range, so statistically you're more likely to find something you love. That's the first key. Every single person who's achieved mastery without exception has, number one, a passion. Some type of purpose, motive, some reason why they're doing something. That's number one, that's basic. Now moving on to number two is discipline. Discipline is about putting in hard work at what you do. In personal development especially, and in spirituality and in philosophy, some people talk about how you can simply attract the things that you want in your life. And perhaps maybe you can. But when it comes to mastery, when it comes to becoming extraordinary at what you do, very, very skilled and wise in your topic, in your field, whatever that is for you, when it comes to getting great at that, nobody has ever achieved mastery at anything without putting in a huge amount of work, which comes from that discipline, that willingness to put in the work, that willingness to sacrifice in the short term, to put in that work to go and get great at something. The best story for this one is Elon Musk, who goes on and went on to go and build $4 billion in companies in 4 different sectors, 4 different industries. It's a feat that most people would consider astonishing, since most people don't build a $1 billion company, and he's gone and done that 4 times in 4 industries. One of his biggest things, and there's many keys to his success, one of the biggest ones is he recently talks about in interviews about what he used to call his 100-hour work week, which averages out to, I believe, 14 to 16 hours per day, not taking weekends off. That's his work week. That's how much he's working. And there's no reason that he's going and achieving such extraordinary things when he's working more in 1 week than some people are in 2, 3, or 4 weeks or 2 months. He's going and doing that. And most people, they think, hey, I'm gonna put in a few hours a week. And if that's part of your lifestyle, then go ahead with that. But if you want to achieve mastery, that's what you want to allocate your energy and your time towards, then it requires discipline. It requires that hard work. Back in the 20th century, towards the end of it, Anders Ericsson did fascinating research, would then went and got commercialized and really expanded out through the works of Malcolm Gladwell and his book the outliers and the book Bounce and Talent is Overrated and the Talent Code by all of these books by these amazing people. All of these books built on the initial research by Anders Ericsson that went and showed what people have now called the 10,000 hour rule. The idea that it takes 10,000 hours of deliberate, meaning intentional, meaning you're there to actually get better, to actually progress. Not just passively going through life, but you're actively doing the thing in order to get better, to progress, to get great at what you do. 10,000 hours to achieve mastery. Now, since then, a lot of that research shows that that number widely varies depending on the industry or the sector that you're in, whatever topic or skill you're developing. But the essence of it is that it takes a huge amount of work. It takes hundreds and thousands of hours of day in, day out, going in and putting work at your craft. Because no matter how talented you may think that you are, what natural gifts you may have, they're not gonna get you the results you want unless you're also putting in that work. Hence the second key here, which is discipline. Putting in work at what you do. Putting in time intentionally to get great at what you do. People look at child prodigies or labeled child prodigies like Mozart, for example, and they go and they call these people geniuses. When in fact, if you look underneath the surface, like I did and shared about in my book about accelerated learning and mastery called Skilled Success, when we look underneath the surface, as also in the book Genius Explained, you'll find that, for example, Mozart was estimated he had already put in over 3,000 hours of training before he hit his 6th birthday. Hence, no matter how talented you may think you are, that talent's not going to get you to where you want to go, to whatever your ambition is. And a lot of people have lofty ambitions at their craft, to the top 10%, to mastery at what you do, unless it's also backed by the second key here, discipline. So the first one is passion, a love that's going to fuel the second key here, which is discipline. And then the third one beyond that, the third often overlooked key for achieving mastery is innovation. It's often overlooked, but for example, you or someone you know has probably spent thousands and thousands of hours combined throughout your life driving or preparing food. Yet that doesn't make you a Formula One driver or a professional chef or great at food preparation necessarily. Or a lot of people would go and spend our whole life talking to people, yet that doesn't make people masterful public speakers. Why? They might have passion, they might have discipline, they've put in thousands of hours talking, they're very talkative people, or they've prepared so much food in their life, or they drive all the time and over time they've accumulated hundreds and thousands of hours. Why aren't they masterful? It's because they lack this third key here, innovation. Innovation is a mindset of knowing, hey, I need to improve. It's about intentionally setting time to improve at something. You see, when you're driving to the store, you're driving on the motorway, you're doing it passively. Often you're driving and at the same time, you're drinking your coffee, you're doing your makeup, you're going and doing all these other things. You're not focused on actually getting better at driving. You're not intentionally there with the mindset of innovation. Innovation is that strategic seeking of growth to get better at something. Compared to masters, they have this third key. When they're putting in their disciplined work, the second key, they're also very intentional about the innovation side of it. They're there, they're at the gym or they're at their office or wherever they're working, wherever they're going and honing their craft, and they're getting good at it intentionally. They're there, they've set aside time, and they're looking to get better. They're looking for criticism they can take to get better. They're looking for coaching. They're looking for all these different things. They're seeking it out to bring it in so they can get better and progress at what they do. Innovation, this third mindset. Hence, for you in your life, I want to ground this in practicality now. If you want to become great at what you do, and knowing that the higher level of skill you have, it correlates to higher levels of success, both financially and when it comes to influence, because you may not be driven by finances, you may be driven by just, hey, you want to change the world. as Steve Jobs said, the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do. Maybe it's influence that's driving you. You want to reach a lot of people. Maybe it's just you want to live a great life. Whatever that is, whatever the extrinsic rewards, the results you want to generate in your life, if you want to become great at what you do, those are the people that are highest compensated. You need these 3 keys in place. You need a passion. Find what you're great at and then sustain that passion. Continue to immerse yourself. If your passion is going and playing the guitar, continue to do that and then go to guitar concerts instead of watching movies. Or go and listen to all these great guitar solos. Or go and hang around with other people, very musical people, to constantly be immersed in that space and sustain that passion. Find it, sustain it. The world's highest achievers have a passion or purpose or motive that drives them, and most often it's an intrinsic, internal, a love of what they do. Second one, discipline. Be willing to put in the work. Hundreds, thousands of hours, and be willing to do. As Jim Rohn said, what's easy to do is easy not to do, and that's often where discipline kicks in. It's those things that are easy to do but easy not to do that the world's highest achievers do. And it's just those little things accumulated together that make up mastery, that make up results, that make up skill, that make up knowledge, that make up success, whatever that is for you. And then the third one, innovation. Passively doing something, driving or making food or drinking water or having conversations isn't going to make you masterful at it. You need to be there, intentionally looking, how can I get better? That strategic seeking of growth and progression is this third key here, innovation. You need to have all 3 in place. Is that passion combined with that discipline, combined with that innovation that goes, and over time, it's not immediate, nothing happens overnight. Over time goes and makes you great at what you do. So if you enjoyed this episode, make sure you like, comment, share this out to other people that also are on the path to getting great at what they do and reaching great levels of success, because if you think they'll find it valuable, they'll be glad that you shared it with them. Like, comment of your biggest takeaway. What did you learn from this? Maybe there was something that you already knew, but it reinforced your learning of it. It made you go, hey, oh yeah, I need to do that. What did you learn? Comment that below wherever you're watching this. Go and share this out and stay tuned. Subscribe, stay tuned for more episodes of the Accelerated Achievement Show, and go and implement this to become a master at your craft.
Achievement accelerated with the Accelerated Achievement Show.